Well, markets are relatively flat this morning. A big move by the long bonds to reverse Friday's action almost entirely. This election is going to be very, very consequential. I know we hear that every single cycle. Everybody says, oh, this is the most important election in our lifetimes. And I don't think this is the most important election in our lifetimes, but I do believe it's going to be very, very consequential because I think there's a lot of difference between the two parties. There's so much difference that rock solid libertarians who are almost always complaining that there's not enough difference, the two parties are just the same. I know a lot of libertarians that are voting, and yeah, they're voting Trump. That's not a political comment on my part. That's just the facts. I think a very unbiased evaluation would say that Harris is offering a continuation of Biden. The changes in course that she has suggested all move in the direction of Trump. The border, guns, taxes, those have all moved in the direction of Trump. So I think we're looking at, if she were even to govern the way that she claims that she feels right now, it would be more of Biden, but with a swing towards Trump. Trump, on the other hand, is offering a return to his policies, which were a lot different than the Biden policies, with less regulation, lowering taxes, and a big emphasis on tariffs and reshoring of U.S. manufacturing, which we'll talk a lot about later this morning. Anyway, but if I didn't see anything else to differentiate, it would be almost no foreign policy statements at all by Harris. I have no idea what she plans to do with regard to our standing with regard to other countries in the world, not even with regard to our allies, much less with regard to those who are, giving us difficulties over there, like Russia and China and Iran and North Korea. Have you heard anything? Let me know in the comments below if you know where Harris stands, what her foreign policy thoughts are, what direction she would take with regard to economic and or military issues with regard to our allies or with regard to our friends. Well, Tesla is moving down this morning. It was really down for a minute. It has popped back up now. It's probably due to fears of a miss in the fourth quarter numbers, the first month of the fourth quarter, the month of October in China. As I reported yesterday, AJ is a bit nervous too. He says that he thinks we have to wait till tomorrow, though, to really understand China's numbers right now. He thinks if tomorrow's numbers come in lighter than his expectations, then it is going to be hard for Tesla to hit the 515,000 that Elon says that they can get to, maybe even hard to get to the 495 that the street expects, although he and Troy Teslike, I think, both believe that that number is makeable. Anyway, I don't think any of that is going to matter. I'm starting to sound like Larry Goldberg now that the short term on Tesla is really irrelevant at this point. The long term, the next 12 months, it's going to be bonkers. And, it's not investment advice, but I would certainly not want to miss out on this run up. And I am as invested as I can possibly be right now in Tesla. That's my personal position. This is from Reuters this morning. U.S. automaker Tesla sold 68,280 China-made electric vehicles in October, down 5.3 from a year earlier, according to data from the China Passenger Car Association. Okay. So there's what probably is one of the reasons why the stock is down this morning. The other reason that Tesla stock is probably down this morning might be a little hedging that we're seeing everywhere right now, where the stock market, the betting markets, everybody seemed to be like, yeah, Trump's got this, Trump's got this. This morning, there's just, I think, some hedging, some trimming on that. The Iowa, you may have heard about the Iowa poll that showed Harris up 3% in Iowa. I think it was a nonsense poll. And that's not a political position. That's just, it was such an outlier compared to every other poll that's out there. I just think it was probably not right. So, yes. So the other thing that is possibly impacting, we're going to spend some time on that right now, is, Tesla is going to be impacted by the election. Here's what Elon thinks. This is from Friday. Quote, a lot of people still don't believe me when I say that the Dems will do everything in their power to destroy me if they win on November 5th. So there you go. as I reported in depth on Saturday night, if you go back and look at that, you can see my in-depth analysis. I don't think it's going to matter over the next 12 months. I do think it might matter in terms of the stock next week. And this is what Gary Black has to say. A Trump victory on Tuesday is modestly bullish for Tesla because Elon will likely be rewarded some efficiency czar position, which could accelerate adoption of a single autonomous driving standard. So he's thinking that might get the Trump administration to come up with a standard on a national level rather than having 50 different state regulations as most important. Trump is no fan of the EV industry, and this is according to Gary Black, and has in the past vowed to dismantle Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, including the $7,500 credit on day one of the presidency. He can't do that, of course. There's no way it can possibly accomplish it. It would take a congressional act. I'm 100% sure of that. Hopefully, Trump's infatuation with Elon will prevent that from happening, but that remains a risk. As you know, my position on it is I don't care if the IRA goes away, and either does Musk. That is not the issue. Yes, it would be better if we could keep the cell portion of it and the pack portion of it with regard to the batteries, but with regard to the $7,500 discount, Elon doesn't care. My bullish view, according to Gary Black, is that Tesla's stock price can move higher into year-end as full year 25 delivery and adjusted EPS estimates increase, and as excitement builds for Tesla's sub-$30,000 car due out on the first half of 2025. We believe it will be a Model 3 hatchback, vaulting Tesla into the compact category. The EPS is unlikely to go much above 360, according to him. In 2025, I think it'll be at over $4, and that would equate to a 70 EPS. So I think this Bloomberg article was even more. I think that Gary Black that was a very good point. Okay, but this Bloomberg article is really interesting. It's a long article. I excerpted, I think, the part that makes the most sense. Tesla has relied on the government. They have not relied on the government, but they have received subsidies in the EV business. Robotaxis are a different matter, they say. The company would prefer that the government leave that business alone. Elon has said forever he doesn't want government subsidies. So he's always said that. Tesla's approach to autonomous vehicles has involved upselling advanced driver assistant features on the premise that eventually they will reach a level of sophistication so the vehicles can simply drive themselves, and they are very close. Drivers are essentially beta testing these systems, that's true, on public roads, gathering millions of miles of data to train Tesla's autonomous vehicle software. Boy, these guys know what they're talking about. With all the risks this entails, especially given the unrealistic expectations set by product names such as autopilot and full self-driving. Since Musk has set and missed repeated deadlines for the launch, that's true, the company needs much more time. Yeah, what's much more? Months, years? Yet a series of accidents involving vehicles using these systems, some fatal, have prompted lawsuits. Yeah, whatever. Musk's mere proximity to any future Trump Oval Office could cause federal agencies to think twice instead of positively going after the Tesla as they've been doing for the last 4 years. They might think twice about upsetting a presidential ally who has the potential to influence budgets and appointments. Musk could certainly use one specific government break, lifting the NHTSA cap on how many vehicles a company can deploy annually with permissions that don't have steering wheels and pedals. That cap now stands at 2,500, but Musk aspires to produce millions of cybercabs. Raising that cap would require Congress to ask. I don't think any of that is. I don't think it would require Congress to act. I do think that they can raise it. They can set it aside based on their understanding of how well it's working. And I'm not even sure that it's based on everything that we're hearing, I'm not even sure it's that hard and fast a rule. A formal cabinet role for Musk requiring Senate confirmation looks very unlikely. They say unlikely. I'm saying like unlikely to the 10th power, not least because he would almost certainly have to resign as Tesla CEO and possibly dispose of his shareholdings in everything else. Anyway, resigning as CEO might be acceptable to investors given Musk's holdovers companies. No, it wouldn't. It would be unacceptable to investors. It'd be crazy. A forced sale of his 12.8% stake would be a financial catastrophe. No, he's not. He'll be heading a commission that will not require any Senate approval. When he dumped part of his stake in never mind that, we don't need all that. On the other hand, while a part-time advisory or commission role would represent another distraction for Musk, investors in Tesla and his other companies might view this as an advantage, given his potential ability to influence regulation and policy. No, I think most of us believe what I'm seeing on X is most of us believe it's just good for the United States that he do this, and it's going to be a benefit to the overall future of the economy and therefore benefit Tesla. I don't think we're looking for favors. What we're looking for is neutral. We just like the government to stay out of it. Get rid of these regulations. He could blunt, the article says, a tax on EVs, for example, which still provide the vast majority of Tesla's cash flow. John Paulson, the hedge fund billionaire, angling to run the Treasury Department in a Trump cabinet, envisions working with Musk to dismantle IRA subsidies. In that position, Musk could potentially steer any such cuts away from EVs and towards, say, renewable energy. Or in a grim irony, the Loan Programs Office that once helped nurture Tesla and is now squarely in the sights of Republicans for cuts. It helped Tesla. It was a good help, and Tesla paid it back early and with full interest. Anyway, that's easier said than done, according to the article. There is additional layers of protection for clean tech subsidies. The vast majority of IRA-inspired jobs and investment dollars are flowing to red districts, which might prompt second thoughts from GOP House members about a downright repeal. I don't think it will be repealed. Never have thought that. This is from AJ this morning. He says Bosch is going to cut. If you know Bosch, they make transmissions and motor parts and whatnot. Bosch in Germany, Stefan Harburg revealed that the company will not meet its economic targets for 2024, prompting significant job cuts. Over 7,000 positions are set to be eliminated in Germany alone, primarily through the automotive supply sector, tools department, and BSH household appliance divisions. That is a big setback for Germany. They're having cutbacks from all their major automotive companies. I think they need to take another look at what's going on in Germany and fix some things. CATL, according to Zhongwen 2005, says CATL gave Tesla a 10% price cut in the third quarter, allowing the Shanghai factory to increase its average gross margin by 2 percentage points. I hope that's correct. I don't know if it is, but I'm not going to argue. Troy Teslike says this morning, Tesla is offering a $6,000 discount on new inventory Model Ys in Germany. These are brand new cars straight from the factory, not demo cars. Demo cars are coming with an 8,400 euro discount. So the other thing, a 6,000 euro discount on new inventory Model Ys, as $8,400 discount on demos. Tesla's working hard to reach that 514,925 deliveries this quarter to avoid a drop in total deliveries compared to last year. But he says things are not looking great so far. I believe he's projecting a 490 range number. All right. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. Please hit like, subscribe, notify. Brian White will be with us later this morning. He and I have a great show about what is going to be this new model that's going to come out next year. We're going to take a look at all the information that's out there and see if we can come up with a good approximation. And then, I haven't mentioned joining Patreon for a long time. And it didn't help. It didn't work. By not mentioning it, you guys didn't join Patreon either. Is anybody out there going to help me out here and support me on this channel? All right. The 𝐓𝐿𝐵 letter says this morning, breaking the ISM manufacturing PMI index shrank. It's a horrible word. Further in October, down from 47.2 to 46.5 points. That index materially missed expectations of 47.6. U.S. manufacturing is now contracted in 22 of the last 23 months, extending the second longest downturn in history. Meanwhile, prices paid spiked to 54.8 points from 48.3 last September. in September, marking the 9th month of expansion on prices out of the last 10. The manufacturing sector, he says, is in stagflation. But this also brand new this morning, new orders for manufactured goods in September down. This is from the Census Department. Down 4 of the last 5 months, decreased 2.8 billion, or 0.5% in September. Shipments down 2 consecutive months, decreased 2.2 billion, or 0.4%. This followed a 0.7% decrease in August. Unfilled orders up 49 of the last 50 months, increased 2.1 billion, or 0.2%. This followed a 0.2% August increase. The unfilled orders to shipments ratio was 6.94, up from 6.86. New orders for manufactured durable goods in September were down 3 of the last 4 months. They decreased 0.7%. We've been talking about durables. The durable goods thing is not doing well. The new orders for manufactured non-durable goods decreased only 0.2%. So the normal day in and day out things that we buy that were manufactured in America, they were only down 0.2%, but durable goods continues to be that hard part. It's going to pop at some point. It's probably going to pop next year. I have never seen durable goods down for 3 straight years after a bubble. And so people really, really, really bought all the durable goods they needed 3 years ago and just have not needed to buy that new refrigerator. Okay, this is from Elon Docs this morning. Elon Musk said, many people in the government sector could be more productive elsewhere. We will reduce a lot of government headcount, but we are going to give very long severances, like 2 years or something like that. Look, just go do something else is what we're going to say. You'll get paid for 2 years. You got a lot of time to go out and figure out something else to do. The point is not to be cruel or have people not be able to pay their mortgage or anything. We just have too many people in the government sector, and they can be doing more productive work elsewhere. So there you go. That's Elon's plan for the government if the Trump administration gets in. Okay, what's happening with the markets at this point? Well, Tesla has recovered a ton. It was down 9 at one point. It is now down only 2.48. The Dow is down 117. NASDAQ is up a bit, 2335. S&P up 8. But the Magnificent Seven are almost all down. NVIDIA's up, but the rest of them are down. They had been down also more strongly earlier, and have recovered as like Tesla has. Tesla is now actually aiming for the green. I don't know if it'll get there today with those China numbers. And with a little bit of hedging on the elections, but we'll see. The Cathie Woods are almost all up this morning. Because why? Oh yeah, because those bonds. We'll go see that in the morning. The bonds have completely reversed Friday's action. So on the percentage basis, we've got the Dow down 0.29, NASDAQ up 0.14, and the S&P up 0.13, Tesla down 1%. And getting stronger and stronger as the morning goes by. Is really interesting. I was really shocked by the amount it was down. I thought I couldn't figure out that there was any real reason for that. Now, maybe it's Cathie Wood again. Maybe she sold another bunch this morning. She was way up at over 14% on 2 of her portfolios and has been selling for the last 2 weeks. Okay, let's go ahead and look at what's happened with those bonds because it was quite interesting to see this. Yeah, here we go. So you may remember that on Friday bonds popped. The yield was up over 10 basis points. So now the yield is down this morning 9 basis points. So that's a complete flip, and that's why those Cathie Wood stocks are up. That might be helping Tesla also. That might be part of the reason why it's reversed. We've got the 2-month is only down 0.3 of a basis point, the 3-month 1.6 basis points, and the 2-year 6.8 basis points. The difference between the 2-month and the 10-year is now down to under 40 basis points, and the 3-month under 30 basis points. Yeah, 23 basis points actually. So we're getting very close to the reinversion of the 2-month and the 3-month. We've been waiting a long time for this. It'll be interesting to see what that really will mean in terms of the whole business of being in recession or not. Okay, so beyond that, we go to the oil. Whoops, let's go. Yeah, okay. Then we go to oil. Oil is up again, and they're saying that Saudi Arabia has confirmed that OPEC will push off those production increases into next year. And so we've got oil up this morning at $1.64. We're still looking at 71 bucks for Texas Intermediate, 74, 71 for Brent. And natural gas is also back up this morning. Look at that. 2.29% back up to 272 and a half. Wow. Interesting. All right. Gold is moving back up again also. 27.53 this morning, up $4. Not a very big move, but up. Silver up 0.18%, also not a big move, 32.73. Copper up 1.34 at 4.43. Anyway, it's in the range it's been for quite a while. The dollar down against the yen, 0.69, up against the euro, similar, 0.64. And the Bitcoin is down 339 at 68,427. So all of that gain last week is come off now. And again, I think there's a little bit of a Trump unwind taking place, the Trump victory unwind, where the markets, all of them were going, yeah, Trump's going to win. Now they're going, yeah, we still think so, but we're not as convinced. And so I think that's what's taking place. All right, so you want to know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe. Brian White, you're going to want to see that. And you wanted to see what I did with Brian Wong over the weekend. It got so few views. It was shocking. Brian, you know how smart this guy is. And these two videos are important. You want to go back and look at them. I will put those cards up yet again. And beyond that, I'll look forward to seeing you with Brian White talking about what is this new car going to be actually coming up in the first half. And then, yeah, that's all I got for you right now. So it's been great talking to you.